Oh man, how justice is prevailing. Since 2019, Johnny Somali's been going on a tirade in different foreign countries, making a complete fool of himself, all for like 40 viewers in an attempt to go viral on social media. And people started to believe that maybe this was just reality. Maybe the world was just gonna let these streamers do their thing and make a complete mockery of the places they were in and of the places they were from. Firstly, by making a name for himself in Japan for just being an absolute nuisance and reminding the Japanese people of a history that they want to forget. For good reason. The complete irony in this is recent times have made it so that other people could build a career off of him, like a Tozy in Legal Mindset, but Johnny Somali himself is stuck not being able to stream, not being able to make money, and with some dire consequences in South Korea. Maybe not a Tozy. A Tozy picked up his coverage on Johnny Somali well into his YouTube career, but Legal Mindset, now, he's actually gained a good following off of Johnny. Now, I'm sure you've seen one or two things that Johnny Somali's done to get him on the bad side of the internet, and the repercussions he had to suffer before going to South Korea were enough to make any nuisance streamers stop while they were ahead. Little things like getting arrested, charged, and banned from even going to Japan, as well as getting threatened by the Yakuza? Yeah, the Yakuza. You know, just one of Japan's most notorious gangs. But his downfall, though, started the moment he stepped foot in South Korea. He thought a great start to the trip would be to go twerking on a comfort woman statue. A little context here, the South Korean government placed those there as a public apology for the World War II sex crimes the soldiers committed against the women of the public. So yeah, when it comes to the worst passive crimes that Johnny could have done in public, that scores at maybe 100 points over the top. Johnny could have had a crazy speedrunning career if he had just focused on video games and not being a public nuisance in other countries. But if his goal is to stream run the fastest of nuisance streamers seen the inside of a foreign jail cell, then he's at the top of the leaderboards. So props to you, Ramsey Khaled Ismail. You're good at something. Just yesterday, Johnny went through the first of many trials set for all the crimes he committed in South Korea.
Well, I foolishly said if one of my videos got 50,000 likes that I would fly to Korea and go to a trial. Well,
A Tozy and Legal Mindset, the creators who have been covering Johnny Somali's downfall the most, decided to hop on a plane and go see this trial in person to give a unbiased view of what actually happened instead of the one Johnny Somali wants to deliver us.
This is gonna be a problem, bro. Oh my god, it's gonna be a problem.
And it's ironic because in South Korea, the thing that really did him in was being a public nuisance and a disturbance inside of a 7-Eleven. And I know in the US, 7-Eleven is like a hub for crime, but in South Korea, they really don't stand for that kind of public nuisance.
So essentially, he was streaming exactly from right here.
What blows my mind is that Johnny is going so far with this and still thinks he's gonna get off scot-free. But the Korean government only really goes after a person like this when they know they're going to be able to convict that person of this crime. They're not gonna waste the resources on Johnny unless they know that he's guilty and they can convict him. And the fact that he is still live streaming after they told him he cannot live stream as part of his conditions is crazy, because the prosecutors are saving all the live streams and they're going to be able to go back and just pinpoint exactly what they're going to charge him for, and he basically reported on himself. What gets me is that Johnny's just convinced himself that everybody's covering him like this because he's just this great content creator, this amazing troll. But no, dude, we're watching the train wreck and it's way better to see live. Quick, I want to talk about the sponsor of this video, Verger. Now, unlike a lot of other YouTubers that claim their product that they're sponsored with is either going to cure AIDS or bring your parents back together, what I can guarantee is this power bank will keep your phone charged no matter what. Now, what's cool about this power bank is it comes stock with micro USB, USB-C, and your proprietary Apple cord. Gone are the days where you can use the excuse that you don't have your friend's special cord to be able to lend them a charge. But hey, it's got enough power to charge both of your phones and possibly save your friendship. Now your friend has enough charge to order Uber Eats for the both of you while you sit back, eat pizza, and plug this thing directly into the wall. And now, back to the video.
So it's now a couple days before the trial, and he's now been hit with yet another charge of obstruction of business. Dude is essentially collecting charges like he's Thanos collecting Infinity Stones. Now he's sitting there with a grand total of about 2 charges for obstruction of business and 2 misdemeanor charges.
So you would think with all these impending charges that Johnny Somali would be taking all of this court stuff seriously, but you'd be wrong. he actually got drunk, streamed the night beforehand, and showed up an hour late to the courthouse when he should have been there at 9. You just can't fix stupid.
National Intelligence Security Charge. National Intelligence Security Charge. Does anybody know what the that means?
Bro's done so much stupid shit just in Korea that he's beginning to forget all of the things that he could even be charged for.
They say the National Intelligence Service is gonna come get me. Tell them, come find me. I ain't scared of them.
I remember when I was 5 and thought my actions didn't have consequences too. Unfortunately for Johnny, he spent the majority of his South Korean live streams playing the North Korean national anthem, speaking good about North Korea, and just generally, those are things that will get you in trouble over there. Just look into the history, you'll find out why. And while on his drunken stream, he actually showed his court papers to the camera and made public a way worse charge that we didn't even know about. Those charges being crimes in an entire different county, which if he's convicted with his current charges and then has to face those, he's going to be a convicted felon, which is going to carry a way heavier sentence because that's just how it works over there. So this is the point in which anybody in Johnny's position would be pleading and hoping with the Korean government that they would go a little light on him from this point forward, as he would actually be sorry and he would actually be regretting his actions and scared of his potential future. I mean, they've taken away any way he has to make money. He's not able to work as he's claimed he's a student. He is genuinely being dealt a hand he cannot play with. But instead, Johnny claims on stream he's just going to go the belligerent route. He's going to keep streaming even though he's not allowed. He's going to keep making money any way he can, which he has no way to make money. And he's just going to make it worse for himself in the long run.
These gonna lock me in the country, I'm gonna make bread. If these lock me in the country, I'm gonna make bread. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Send that to the prosecutor. My live stream donators, they gonna get it rich and oiled because they feel bad that I've been locked here. Snitching. Johnny Somali is making money. Yeah, don't lock me in the country, Korean corrupt ass government. If the government don't want me to work, I'm not working, I'm streaming. Two different things. I could be at Home Depot or selling my... That's working. Shut the up.
It's hilarious because the only way he makes money, which is self-proclaimed, is to go to other countries and make a nuisance and annoy people. That's something he has said. So it makes sense that the Korean government would say you can't do that because they don't want any more of these crimes being committed while he's there.
Why are you being other people in other countries? Why are you bullying people in other countries? For money, like for clout. I've said it many times.
The guy constantly contradicts himself and posts all of these contradictions online for the prosecutors to use against him. You would think finally, after being in all of this trouble, that he would finally be watching his tongue, dotting his I's and crossing his T's to make sure that it can't get worse, but no. He's getting drunk live on stream the night before his court dates, to the point of puking.
I'm giving y'all the first viral moment tonight. Oh my God, I threw up everything. Y'all wanna see this? Oh my God.
The irony in all of this is some of the YouTubers covering this are making so much per video that they'd be able to afford 100 of these lawsuits. It just points out how Johnny's direction, thinking that he's going so viral doing all of this stuff, is just working against him, and he's just fueling other fires that are working against him too. I'm beginning to think he actually wants to go to prison. Like, what other explanation is there for this? Johnny has no self-awareness at this point, and he proves it by literally announcing right before he cuts the stream, right before the trial, that he's going to live stream the trial, as if that would ever be allowed.
Trial is live tomorrow, and I will be live streaming the trial.
And this is the last we've personally heard from Johnny since the trial did not go well for him. As we know, a bunch of content creators went there, came back, and made videos about the trial, showcasing exactly what happened inside the courtroom.
Here we have Johnny Somali court case March 7, 2025, first hearing. 9:50, courtroom doors open. 9:51. Courtroom layout and observations. Atosi begins to make a courtroom sketch. Just in case you were wondering, this is my courtroom sketch here. So this is exactly what the courtroom looked like from the the podium where we were sitting. So you have the judge in the center there, the Korean flag behind him. You have the prosecution on one side and then the defense on the other side. And as you can see, Johnny's stanced up in a very oversized white suit. And then obviously in the middle there, you had the interpreters because there was no witnesses that was called to this case yet. Hearings begin. 10:09, Ramsey Khalid Ismail is called to the stand. His lawyer informs the judge that he is attempting to contact him. The entire court waits. The judge appears mildly irritated. 10:11, delay confirmed. The lawyer finally makes contact with Ramsey and informs the court that he will arrive 15 minutes late. At 11, Johnny Somali is absent. Johnny has still not appeared in court. Given that he was drinking all night, it is possible that he is still intoxicated. His lawyer appears to be attempting to sober him up. 11:09. Ramsey arrives. The courtroom informed Ramsey that he is on his way up the stairs. The judge and prosecution appeared mildly irritated. 11:11. Ramsey enters the courtroom looking very rough. He is wearing an ill-fitted gray suit that is too large for him and a red MAGA cap. As he enters, he smirks at Atosi and me. He then notices Legal Mindset, who is slightly in his blind spot. Seeing Legal Mindset, he grins foolishly and sticks his tongue out at him. Hank follows closely behind. In an attempt to appear confident, Ramsey fails to follow courtroom protocol. He is told to remove his hat, which he does. However, while smirking at Legal Mindset, he absent-mindedly puts it back on. The court officer immediately instructs him to remove it again. He then attempts to sit in the interpreter's seat and is told to move. So he originally went to the center, but obviously he can't be there, so he had to go to the defense side. After a brief moment of confusion, he finds his lawyer and sits beside him. He once again glances at Legal Mindset, smirks, and sticks out his tongue. The judge and prosecution observe everything. In the audience, two female journalists sit directly in front of us. A white male journalist sits on the left-hand side of the courtroom, all of them rapidly taking notes on their laptops. Ramsey is instructed to stand for the judge. His demeanor is disrespectful and irreverent. The judge asks for his occupation, to which he falsely claims to be a student. The judge raises an eyebrow, but does not otherwise react. When asked to confirm his address, Ramsey suddenly adopts a confused and helpless foreigner persona. He pretends to not know his address because he does not speak Korean. The judge informs him that he may speak English and simply state the numbers. It is evident that the judge understands and likely speaks English. The judge asks for his nationality, to which he promptly responds the United States of America. Ramsey stands sloppily in his oversized suit, hands in his pockets while speaking to the judge. Oh, and also just to add more context, so Ramsey is speaking to a translator who is then talking to the judge in Korean. But as stated, it seemed very clear that the judge fully understood Ramsey. And then obviously to add more context, if it's not clear, Ramsey is Johnny Somali. 11:15, judge issues a warning. The judge warns Ramsey that failure to attend future hearings could result in a harsh sentence in his absence. 11:16, charges were read by the prosecution. The prosecution reads out the 3 charges against Ramsey. 1. Disruption of business. Ramsey entered a 7-Eleven and began drinking alcohol, which is illegal in Korea. When the elderly shop owner asked him to stop, he became verbally abusive. He threw ramen inside the store and continued drinking anyway. He played loud music, danced drunkenly, and harassed customers as they entered. His actions caused financial harm to the business and emotional distress to the owner. The prosecutor's language mirrors the strict legal vocabulary used in the previous drug dealer's case that we witnessed before Ramsey's case, emphasizing the social damage that Ramsey's actions caused. 2. Public harassment with a rotting fish. Ramsey carried a rotting fish in a plastic bag and harassed people. When passengers asked him to remove the fish from the bus, he ignored them. He randomly approached pedestrians with a rotting fish, disturbing social order and making people feel unsafe. Upon hearing about the rotting fish, the judge slightly tilts his head and reviews the charges, seemingly in disbelief. However, he remains stone-faced and does not comment. And then the 3rd charge is lewd conduct on public transportation. Ramsey was accused of sexually suggestive dancing and playing loud music on the bus and in train. He was specifically accused, in quote, of twerking, which is considered deviant in Korea.
I'm not doing it. Oh, yeah, no.
This was a statue Johnny twerked on.
And that's apparently the first time the word twerking has ever been used in a court case in Korea. 11:18, the unexpected 4th charge. The judge asks Ramsey if he's received the letter of the 4th charge. Both Ramsey and his lawyer appeared confused. The lawyer receives a new charge and reviews it. Then the judge asks the defense how they wish to plead. Ramsey's lawyer states that he pleads guilty to all charges except for the new charge, which they have not yet reviewed. The judge asks how much time the defense requires. The lawyer requests 3 weeks to review the new charge. The judge then grants the request, and then the hearing of the 4th charge is scheduled for April 9th, 2025. Ramsey no longer smiles and appears very concerned. 11:20, judge's final word. The judge sternly warns Ramsey to not be late for the next hearing. The judge looks mildly annoyed, which in Korean culture indicates that he is actually very annoyed. 11:22, court adjourns. We stand and exit the courtroom, leaving Ramsey behind. After the hearing, a journalist asks Ramsey why he wore a MAGA cap and kept putting it back on. Ramsey responded, "Because I can do whatever I want, Korea is a vassal state of America."
So it's confirmed that Johnny actually did plead guilty to all those charges, which means that his future court date in a different place in Korea, he's going to be a convicted felon, guaranteed now. So those charges are going to be way worse for him, with a minimum, from what I've read, of 10 years. After all that, he admitted to being drunk on a live stream and claimed he still thinks that he's not going to actually serve any time or pay any fees for what he's done in Korea. He said this all on a live stream.
They're claiming that like I came in and I was blindsided by the fact that I had a new charge and was like sitting in the wrong place and was nervous. This was a breeze, and the only reason I'm ready to start going live again, because honestly I have no fear. Like, that's really, these people are clout chasing off my name so badly, because these from Pakistan saying I arrived late and hungover. Okay, they're not lying about that part. I'll give you that. I was late to the court by like an hour. I was hungover. I'm gonna be honest about that. But it wasn't really that big of a deal. It wasn't really that big of a deal. You know, I showed up drunk. I showed up happy. Like, but they got me for like spilling a cup of noodles. They got me for carrying a stinky fish. They got me for some, bro. Like, this, you can't go to jail for that in any country. I know for a fact I'm not gonna go to jail. Not one day in jail, but I have the footage of me and Hank leaving the court laughing our asses off. Like, bro, we're not taking this serious.
No matter where you look online, every professional lawyer says that he's either going to get 3, 5, or even 10 to 20 years in jail for everything he's done in this court case. And that's just in this one. Not to mention the next stuff he has to do after this trial in a different county. I guess maybe he thinks his saving grace is Trump might sign an executive order to get him out and back to the country, but Trump doesn't want you, dude. He's more likely to sign an executive order to get that damn MAGA hat back from you. But as Johnny said, he doesn't care. He's not taking this seriously, so why should we take his freedom seriously? I just hope that the Korean judge is going to make an example of him, because if this isn't treated properly, this is going to happen again and again until somebody gets a lot of years in prison. Either way, we're going to be here to cover it every step of the way, because very rarely does the internet serve up a perfect punching bag that we don't need to feel bad about taking shots at. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, then a like on it would be much appreciated, and a follow on the channel would bring a lot more topics like this to your homepage. I recently made a video about Valkyrie and friends getting stalked on a subathon, and if that doesn't interest you, YouTube thinks you might like this video right here. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.